it's hard. When did the idea of Puss in Boots come along?
Well, I think from the moment he came tumbling into Shrek 2 with the entry of Fear Me If You Dare, we knew a star was born. The idea of having him have his own movie is something that took a little bit of time. I think Antonio knew that right away. He said, "Oh, I think the cat could have his own movie." And Chris Miller, the director of Puss in Boots, who'd also directed one of the Shrek movies and loved the character, is the one who really said, "Let's do the origin story. Let's go back and how did Puss get to that moment when we first met him in Shrek 2?"
Was it difficult for you to blend the mixture of Anglo-Saxon fairy tales with Spanish and Latin flavor?
Not really, because this is a story that took place before Puss ever arrived in the world of Shrek. So this is his heritage, his world, his land, where he was born, and he always was a Spanish gato, and so he became Puss in Boots, but that's not where he started.
This is the first feature film that you work with animators in India. So how did it work for you, farming out some people?
Well, it's not farming out. It's our own studio there. Mm-hmm. And so they're DreamWorks animators, just like the ones in California. And we spent many years finding the best talent in India and training them. This is not, most people think of India as outsourced, someplace you send things to be done less expensively. That's not what we've done. What we've done is recruited great talent in India. There's a fantastic artistic community there. They speak English, so it's it's a language they really genuinely understand, which is so important in terms of doing great animation. And so it's worked very effectively for us. And so we actually have 3 studios, one in Southern California, one in Northern California, and now one in Bangalore.
Do you think that the future in films would be different studios in different countries working out for the same project, for example?
Maybe, we'll have to see. I think it's likely that we'll probably build a studio in China. Would be the next place that I think will make sense for us to be. Again, amazing amount of talent there and a very thriving, growing movie-going population, and so that's probably the next thing for us.
A lot of studios are shutting down studios, but you're open studios. So what's the formula?
Make great movies. We don't make many of these. We make 2 or 3 of them a year. We spend $150 million making the films. They cost about $1.7 million per minute. A great animator, the greatest animators in the world, animate 3 seconds per week. So 400 artists, 4 years. It's a very unique kind of movie making. And, fortunately, it works. Mm-hmm. We've made 15 films. Puss in Boots is our 15th CG animated movie. And every one of our movies has been, successful. And I think it's because our creative process is so unique. It's very different from the live action movie business, and it has a quality and a process that just allows for great development and great storytelling.
Apart from technical evolution, which is obvious, what has changed in the world of animation since you founded DreamWorks in '94, right?
Yeah, well, it's still great storytelling, but the technology has changed dramatically. The tools that we have today for every aspect of filmmaking are spectacular, and they allow our artists to realize almost anything they can dream in terms of visual images and special effects, and making these movies feel so immersive, including 3D. Mm-hmm. So does it smell like this room is on fire?
Yes.
Guys, is there something burning?
No.
Okay, here we go.
We're in this together.
It's the coffee. The fire of coffee.
So, what's your take on 3D? Because 2 years ago when James Cameron presented Avatar, you said, okay, this is Avatar, this is the best 3D. And you mentioned Clash of the Titans as the lowest grade in 3D. So what's your position now about 3D?
Well, there are people that are doing great 3D, and there are people that are doing crappy 3D. Fortunately now, because of the power of these tools, everybody knows. So you cannot deceive the audience anymore. You cannot cheat the audience. The presumption that you could cheat the audience in itself, is not good business. You don't abuse your customers. No business in the world can do that, other than maybe airlines, and get away with it, right?
Yeah.
So you have to respect your customers. You have to honor your customers. And so for DreamWorks, what we are doing, I think, is the best 3D work anywhere in the world, live action or animation today. The 3D work in Puss in Boots has been, singled out by almost every single critic, that the movie is beautiful to look at, the images are spectacular, and the 3D is among the best ever done. We've probably made more 3D films at DreamWorks today than any other company. And we keep investing in both the tools and the training of our artists to make sure that it is the highest quality. It's not surprising that the cinematographer, the artist who created the 3D work in How to Train Your Dragon, which along with Avatar were sort of acknowledged as the two best, he is the same person that did the 3D for Puss in Boots.
Mm-hmm. So did you see Lion King in 3D?
I did.
What do you think about it?
Well, it's a great movie, and
Yeah, apart from that.
20 years later, it's
Yeah.
still great, and the 3D experience was good. They did a nice job with it. So, but it's a 2D movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was not created in 3D, so I think they offered the customer a good quality experience. But there's a difference between authoring a movie in 3D and doing high-end, high-quality post-production 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Cameron's talked about it in terms of
Yeah.
Titanic. I'm sure Titanic, that what he's doing, in terms of making sure that it's a great 3D experience.
Well, I saw a couple of minutes last week in LA, and it was amazing.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's going to be spectacular. But he would be the first one to say to you, it's not the same as if he had made the movie in 3D.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good. Take care.
Great movie, and well, hope you find a way back to your country.